All right, guys, let's talk about the toes to bar. So how does the toes to bar relate back to posture or squat or push up and a jump? Our feet are going to be together because we don't need it for balance. We're going to be hanging from the bar. Belly button drawn in, hold your Kegel, squeeze your butt cheeks, twist your heels together. We're going to point our toes because that helps us with our stability. Rib cage down, we're going to stand tall. Shoulders, just like a push-up, are going to be back in their sockets and rotating around. So the positions we're going to use in the toes to bar are going to be this tight arch position. So remember, grab your imaginary soccer ball, and we're going to arch and snap through that hollow position. So these are going to be the positions we use. This arch, and we're going to snap to a hollow. And then in that hollow position, we're going to pick our legs up, kick them out, and come back. And then we're going to arch, snap to a hollow, pick our legs up, come back. Something that's super common and that we see in the toes to bar, and we're going to talk about the hanging knee raise, a scaled version of the toe to bar. Something that's super common is people swing back, and they're broken back here, but then they immediately from that position pull with their hip flexors to pull everything in to try and do the move. And the key is we need to stay long and create that snap and momentum, so it can be a skill that transfers over into real world and sport. But then now once we're in this position, we've got the support of our lower abs to pull everything up, and it's not a tiny little hip flexor move. So making sure we're hitting these nice arch and hollow positions are going to be important for skill transfer and to make sure we're using the lower abs and the muscles we're trying to target here. So something that I like to do is I like to act like there's an imaginary wall right here in front of me. And as I swing, I'm going to try and get my feet to hit that imaginary wall. So as I hang, my shoulders are back in their socket, I'm twisting in, and everything's nice and tight. And I'm just going to swing and hit that imaginary wall in front of me. So put that imaginary wall about right here and kind of swing my feet right to it. Getting the rhythm of the toe to bar is really the trickiest part in the beginning. It's as soon as people see the movement, they instantly think core, 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 and they're right, but how they think about the core is usually incorrect, and they think about the core as just their ab muscles. The core is how we engage our abs with our hips and with our shoulders. So this is a huge core move, but it uses the lats of the lats here and that shoulder stability so much. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to pull that bar down, and I'm trying to get my back as far back this way, and it's going to counterbalance me. So as I start, I hop up with my feet out in front of me a little bit, and then I'm going to allow my feet to go back as my chest comes forward, and then I'm going to pull down on this bar to get my back going further back. And I'm just going to swing, find that imaginary wall right there. So once I've done that a few times, now we're going to work into just hanging knee raises. So this is going to be the scaled version of the toes to bar, where I'm going to swing to that point. When I hit that point, I'm just going to pick my knees up. So what I want to feel like is I'm coming through and my feet hit an imaginary wall, and then they come up. Imaginary wall, they come up. So let's watch one more time and just imagine an imaginary wall here. All right, so notice what I'm not doing is coming back and then immediately just bending at the waist. I'm creating these long positions that we can use for other things and then bending. As I build up from a hanging knee raise to a toe to bar, it looks like I simply just kick my legs up higher. The reality is I have to do a whole lot more work in the shoulder and in the lat as I pull the bar even closer to my feet, which is going to look like my body getting pulled way further back. And then I've got to hold that position and give my legs time to come up and kick before I can release it. So in the hanging knee raise, our shoulder is just going to be, we're kind of going to be swinging back and forth. On the toe to bar, I'm going to hit here, and now I got to hold that position longer. So as you're trying to transition from the scaled version with the hanging knee raise into the toe to bar, just know it's just a lot more of that bar control as we hold ourselves down. All right, so keys, everything nice and tight. The positions I'm using, first of all, when I'm hanging, my shoulders are down, creating that external rotation, twisting my pinkies into the bar. If that shoulder is up, now all of this swinging is just gonna tear my shoulder to shreds. So I need to keep it supported. The positions I'm using are just my arch and hollow. And then I need to make sure I'm still drawn in the lower abs here as I pick everything up. So I'm using lower abs, and I'm not just gonna only use my hip flexors. So arch, hollow, pick everything up as you hold the position, and it's really developing that shoulder tightness and shoulder and lat strength. Those are really gonna be the keys that make for a good toe to bar. So last point is, as we're gripping the bar, just like in the pull-ups and just like everything else, we're trying to get that nice shoulder and lat engagement. So I'm trying to get my pinky knuckle on top of the bar, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a cocked wrist just because I feel like that helps me get all of this stuff involved. What we see over and over again, as soon as the grip goes, what we see is as soon as that strong grip turns into barely hanging on with my fingertips, we immediately see that loss in the shoulder. Once we have the loss in the shoulder, we can no longer pull and engage the lats to get us back here, and then that's when it turns into this toe to bar swing with the shoulders up in the ears, where I'm just kind of swinging back and forth and I've got no control. So control starts in the hand through the shoulder, try and get that pinky knuckle up on top, shoulders back, and once we can really control those positions, then we can really develop the toe to bar for the sake of toe to bars, but also for the sake of transferring to everything else. All right, talk to you guys soon.